my grandmother, whenever we take family photos, my great grandmother actually, she'd always like look up to the like corner. People are always like, "Where are you looking?"
I like that. It's that candid, like, oh, a
Yeah, like,
spider.
oh, like you just call me and my family, like with all my
Yeah.
family.
We just happen to be here.
Wow.
So I'm here with Jeff Kohart, who is a software developer. When and why did you join RunSignup?
Well, I joined RunSignup in the summer of 2016 as an intern, and then I started again full time in 2017 after I graduated college. Bob was my cross country coach in high school, so I kind of had a bit of I knew him from growing up, and he knew me a little bit, so that kind of helped.
So Bob saw how fast you were going in cross country, and he's like, wow, that
Yeah.
should probably translate to coding too.
Yeah, he saw how slow I was, and he's like, he can't be that slow in every aspect of his life.
Now, what are some of the projects that you've worked on in the past 6 months?
In the past 6 months, I've mostly been working on like ticket insights for it's basically propagating a lot of our race insights dashboard charts to ticket events. So like that involves like the page views counts that you know and love, and the sign up dollars and all that good stuff. I also had source tracking codes, ticket events that basically replicate that function from races. And so yeah, I was working with that code a lot and abstracting it so when we do memberships, it'll also be easier to add to that sort of feature and stuff like that.
What are you working on now and in the next 6 months?
Right now, I'm working on revamping the race renewal process. So right now, if you might be familiar, it's just like one giant page with a bunch of like checkboxes and stuff like that. So we're kind of breaking it up to make it a bit easier on the eyes into more of a wizard. So it's 2 steps, and then add some more features to it. So that way, when you renew, like you'll have some more messaging on your dashboard. Like here's some things you might want to update. Like messaging that you have hard coded your race date or something like that doesn't get updated automatically. So we're trying to make that a bit clearer messaging on what features need to be tweaked a little bit.
So when you're talking about a hard-coded date, like is that the custom date?
Yeah, like if you have like a text field that's like for your email confirmation, for example, where it's like, oh, like don't forget to turn out on Saturday, July 5th, and then 2023 or whatever, and then the next year you're like, ah, crap, it still says 2023.
Oh, that's good, because I have had races like contact us asking like, hey, why does it still have last year's date? And it's like, well,
Yeah,
that's custom text. Okay.
Right.
That's cool that I didn't even know you were looking for that.
yeah, we know
Yeah.
things.
Now, if you could just get it so that people stop putting the year in the URL.
Yeah. Wait, 10th annual is not good.
I put that in GitHub and it got closed. You told me that it would last. Well, you told me that you would work on it. You thought it was a good idea.
I thought it was like, yeah, the best GitHub issue we have probably.
Closed. For anyone, if I use this part, if you use the date in the URL, 2023 this year, once you renew next year, it's still going to say 2023. I want a way to detect that someone puts that year in there, and then it tells them, hey, stop. You're making life harder for everybody.
Yeah, and because you put the year in it and then you don't, like, you renew it and it keeps that year, like, you want to say, I want to change that, I want to create a new race, you're losing all the SEO you've built up for that old URL.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it won't appear as high in search results.
Yeah.
So, and also maybe having some more logic around, like, if your race is on Saturday every year, like trying to keep it so the next year when you renew, it's like on the same day of the week, except for certain holidays. Maybe you don't have July 4th every year, but you might have another race every Saturday. So trying to keep that logic more understandable and have it be more useful for the user. So I'm trying to like work on that as well.
So can you describe what a Monday task is and one that you've done in the past year?
So a Monday task is more like a minor task. So we just kind of like break up the monotony of like, oh, we have these big projects we're like heads down on, but trying to make us don't forget about the minor features that might improve customers' lives. So like just trying to spend a little bit of time, usually on Monday, but it can be any day of the week, just like cleaning up something that's pretty quick and high impact. A lot of those Monday tasks I do tend to be more like bug fixes. Our code review process is pretty rigorous, but we are human. Bugs do slip through to the user, and so just trying to if we have different ways of being notified when a bug happens, like might get an email or check some logs. So I go through those and kind of try to make sure those don't stay in our system for very long. So for example, one I fixed recently was with revoking timer invites in the race wizard. That was broken for about a week, and I fixed that so people can revoke invites again. And then just like a bunch of other bug fixes, like with different features that go out. Like I did an update to the invite kind of logic recently. To kind of fix some text that was displaying for the wrong type of invite. So there were some bugs with that release that I fixed as well. That like within a couple minutes of release, but we just have so many users that sometimes like you might get a little stressed about the amount of people that are encountering it, but actually compared to our overall traffic, it's pretty low.
Now, you talked about the code review process. Could you explain that a little more?
Sure. So we are PCI compliant, so we have to, as part of those regulations or standards, we have to have every line of code that gets updated in our system has to go through review, and in fact has to go through like 2 rounds of review. So we have kind of like a couple levels of code reviewers based on how experienced you are as a developer, and then we kind of like we'll go through line by line and like, is this like how we want to do this? Is this good long term to be able to make updates later? And then it goes to a managerial review before it gets deployed into the site where everyone gets to use it and get the updated code.
We don't get that kind of review for the videos. I just post them.
Oh yeah, you just send it.
I mean, I had to get your permission to use
Oh yeah, well,
your likeness in
thank you.
the Scott Coffee video. Anything you want to talk about as far as your starring role in that, or?
Oh yeah, well I mean, I saw some guy like kind of film me, and I was like, oh, I can't let this slide. Like I gotta judge this guy. Like, I gotta make sure he knows I'm judging him too.
And what was your character's motivation in that scene?
Oh well, I was doing packet pickup. It was going well, but like I was like, oh, come over here, like check in with me, and maybe it goes to someone else, and I was kind of like,
so it was kind of distraught, rejected.
Oh yeah, I was a little like tilted.
I picked up on a little bit of that in the eyes.
Thank you. Yeah, what can I say? I'm an expressive guy.
What is the greatest strength of the engineering team?
I think our biggest strength is like the continuity and the fact that everyone's like stuck around for so long. We kind of have like this big family of developers, and they just know so much and really know the code base super well. And it makes it a lot faster to development when like people just know where things are in the code base.
Any fun stories you want to share?
I'm sure. I'm trying to think of a good one. When Jonathan was first like a young whippersnapper here, like he was trying to like, we have a lot of stacks in the break room in the Morrison office. And so he was like, going for the goldfish, my goldfish or my goldfish, the snack. And he was like trying to like snag some, and I was like, hey, what are you doing over there? Like, I know this is your first day, but we don't let this slide here. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just thought I could eat them. And I was like, you thought wrong. Those are mine.
And you made him give it back.
I made him spit them out. No. But yeah, no, I made sure he never did it ever again. And it's actually worked out because he tells everyone the story. And then like, I don't even have to like worry about like berating people because he does it for me, like, or they know that they'll be like, yes sir, like,
that's no good. Yeah. Laying down the law in the break room.
I know you can't if you just let it slide, like, then everyone takes the goldfish, then they're gone.
I have my own bag of goldfish in my bag right now.
Oh yeah,
because I know the rules.
Yeah, that's the rules.
Jeff's goldfish. Well, thanks for talking with us.
No problem.
How are these interviews going?
Pretty good.
Good.
Where'd you get that?
Oh, I just grabbed it back from the break room. Who's that guy?